can you tell if you're involved with a sociopath? In this video, I'll explain the first big red flag, charisma and charm. I'm Donna Andersen, author of lovefraud.com, and also author of the book, Red Flags of Love Fraud, 10 Signs You're Dating a Sociopath. My book came out quite a few years ago, but the information is still relevant. So I thought it would be a good idea to review the red flags of love fraud. So let's get started. Because the word sociopath is often used to describe criminals and murderers, you may expect these people to have angry, foul temperaments, and they often do. But that comes later, after they have their hooks in you. When you first meet them, many sociopaths have an attractive, appealing energy about them. They demonstrate their interest in you through lavish attention, flattery, and kindness. That's why the first red flag of love fraud is charisma and charm. My Red Flags book reveals the tactics of social predators who pursue romantic relationships not for love, but for exploitation. There's a lot more understanding of antisocials, narcissists, and psychopaths now than when I published the book back in 2012. Still, everyone needs to understand the red flags. So let's review them. My book is based on a survey that I conducted called the Love Fraud Romantic Partner Survey. It included a preliminary list of the 10 signs that you're dating a sociopath that I formulated based on what readers had told me about their experiences. One objective of my survey was to validate the list. For the charisma and charm item, fully 91.5% of respondents agreed that their partners, who turned out to be sociopaths, exhibited charisma and charm. These attributes, of course, are not necessarily bad. Charisma is often a characteristic of a strong, inspiring leader, and synonyms for charming include delightful, lovable, amiable, engaging, and about 40 other positive adjectives. The problem with charisma and charm in sociopaths is the hidden agenda. These people use their magnetic personalities to deceive, manipulate, and exploit. This is readily apparent in the Love Fraud survey, as people described the appeal of sociopaths in the beginning of the relationships and then how the relationships ended. Here are a couple of examples that I included in my book. The appeal. His charm and what seemed to be total honesty. Instant chemistry upon meeting. The end. He was a manipulative, controlling monster who portrayed himself to be a God-fearing, loving Christian. Then there's this one. The appeal. Her charisma and confidence. Everything was charming. She was sweet and always overly attentive to my needs. The end. She will be so mean and abusive towards me that all I could do was leave. Then she'll come back and say that I was too sensitive, that I had no sense of humor, that I was bad-tempered. She was blaming me for everything. I felt guilty and came back. It was like that until I became aware of her madness. Charisma describes personal magnetism. Sociopaths exude a mixture of enthusiasm and self-confidence that is often irresistible. They are seductive, and not only in a sexual way. With their flair, finesse, and glib words, sociopaths convince their targets, that would be you, to accept their ideas and plans. You may find yourself doing what the sociopath wants and pushing way outside of your comfort zone in the process. How do they do it? How do sociopaths convince you to go along with their agendas, even to your own detriment? They command it. This is a function of their charisma. Because they command unflinchingly, with complete self-confidence, they get results. Now, this doesn't mean sociopaths are always barking orders. Often, the commands are delivered on cushions of sweetness or camouflaged as appeals for sympathy. But in their minds, whatever sociopaths want, they are totally entitled to have. Therefore, when they make their desires known, they show no doubt, only certainty. Compliance is demanded, and targets respond. Related to the sociopathic charisma is an overabundance of ego. In fact, egocentric and grandiose is a key symptom of the disorder identified by Dr. Robert Hare, a Canadian psychology researcher who is a preeminent expert in the field. In the Love Fraud survey, 68% of respondents said their romantic partners had enormous egos. Now, a big ego doesn't necessarily mean that someone is a sociopath. Plenty of people in the world are highly accomplished, and their egocentricity is justified. However, the key difference with sociopaths is that they hold inflated views of themselves, whether they deserve it or not. If their actual life accomplishments are thin, sociopaths simply pad their resumes with lies. But they tell the lies so charmingly. Charm is how sociopaths soften you up, paving the way so they can use you. Sociopaths work their charm through their extraordinary verbal skills. Usually, they are smooth talkers, always have an answer, never miss a beat. Witty, clever, articulate, they can talk you into giving them what they want, and they know it. These people walk into a room and they're on, especially if the room is full of potential targets. Sociopaths thoroughly understand that appearing friendly, helpful, interested, and solicitous helps them to ingratiate themselves with others. If they're looking to use anyone or anything, these people pour on the sweetness and concern, at least in the beginning. One of my survey respondents wrote that the man she was involved with was so great with words that he knew what to say and how to say it. He totally swept her off her feet. Now, charisma and charm by themselves do not mean that someone is a sociopath. I've identified 10 red flags of love fraud, and an individual needs to exhibit most of them in order to be a sociopath. I'll explain more of the traits in upcoming videos. To understand sociopaths and how they hook you, go ahead and get my book called Red Flags of Love Fraud. You may also want the Red Flags of Love Fraud Workbook, which helps you to figure out why you fell for the scam and how to protect yourself going forward. They are both available in the Love Fraud store. So if you need assistance in your recovery, you'll find it at Love Fraud. We have thousands of articles. We have webinars by therapists and other experts to help you escape and recover. And I'm always happy to work with you one-on-one. Just go to my website, lovefraud.com/talk to Donna. Even after the sociopath, full recovery is possible. Love Fraud is here to help you.